Lesson 5.1, Forms of Rational Numbers. A rational number is any number written in the form a over b, where a and b are integers and b does not equal 0. In other words, every number can be written as a fraction. Fractions may never have a denominator of 0 because you cannot divide something into 0 pieces. Some examples of rational numbers are 2/3, 19/7, -5/7, 4 25/100, 18, -3, 83 thousandths as a repeating decimal, -27/100 as a repeating decimal, 3 2/3. This is a variety of different numbers that are all rational numbers because they can all be written as a fraction that do not have a denominator of 0. Now, when we're looking to put something in lowest terms, we're looking for terms that have a GCF where a and b, the GCF is only 1. In order to do that, we can find the GCF of a and b. If you can't see by looking at 12 and 18 that what the GCF is, we can use a factor ladder. So if we use 12 and 18 as in our factor ladder, what goes into both of them? 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times, 2 goes into 18 9 times. What goes into 6 and 9? 3. 3 goes into 6 twice, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So now it can't be simplified any further. So the product of 2 and 3 is our GCF. So we divide both numbers by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. Now, I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can simplify 24/90. Okay, if we draw our factor ladder with 24 and 90, 2 goes into both of them, 2 goes into 24 12 times, 2 goes into 90 45 times. What goes into both of those? The answer is 3. 3 goes into 12 4 times, 3 goes into 45 15 times. Now there's nothing that goes into 4 and 15, so we have found our GCF of 2 times 3. Divide them both by 6. 6 goes into 24 4 times, 6 goes into 90 15 times. So our lowest terms is 4/15. Notice when you finished your factor ladder, on the bottom you have the fraction. You have 4/15. Now there are 3 types of fractions. We have proper fractions where the numerator is less than the denominator. We have improper fractions where the numerator is greater than the denominator. And we have mixed numbers where which is the sum of a whole number with a fraction. Examples of each: 2/3 would be a proper fraction, 3/2 would be an improper fraction, 1 1/2 would be a mixed number. Now, in order to convert the improper fraction into a mixed number, you have to divide the denominator into the numerator. So you would divide 7 into 19 2 times, subtract the 14, you're left with 5. So the quotient is 2, that's the whole number, and the remainder, which is the 5, becomes the numerator. So now you end up with 2 5/7. Your denominator stays the same. So your final answer here is 2 5/7. Now, before you try to do example number 4, pause the video and give yourself a couple of minutes to make sure you can solve it. Okay, so we divide 8 into 12. Well, 8 goes into 12 one time. Subtract, you're left with 4. Well, 8 does not go into 4, so you're done. So the quotient is 1. 4 is your remainder. That becomes your numerator, and your denominator is an 8. Now this one is a little bit different because you can simplify or reduce 4/8. Well, what goes into 4 and 8? The answer is 4. So divide both of those numbers by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So your fraction ends up being 1 1/2. Okay, so to change the mixed number into an improper fraction, you're going to take the whole number and multiply it by the denominator and then add the numerator. So in this case, it's 2 times 5 plus 4. So 2 times 5 is 10 plus 4 is 14. So now your numerator is 14 and your denominator stays the same. So you end up with 14/5. Okay, pause the video before you attempt to do this problem. Make sure that you can work through it before you listen to the result. Okay, so we take 5 times 4 plus 3. Well, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23, over the same denominator, which is 4. We now have an improper fraction. Okay, so here are the rules to remember on how to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. First, divide the denominator into the numerator. The quotient is the whole number and the remainder is the numerator, and then you reduce it if possible. To change a mixed number to an improper fraction, first multiply the whole number times the denominator, then add the numerator. Put the sum over the denominator and then reduce if possible. This concludes our video tonight. Please take notes on what you don't understand and ask questions in class. Have a great evening.